You know, one thing I hate about the spiritual community is the amount of bypassing there is just to sell. Going to a mountain to meditate, isolating yourself, living like a hermit. To me, that is the easy way out to do spirituality. You have no noise, you have no drama. It's easy for you to, if you're not immersed in the drama of daily life, in the hustle, if you are not living amongst expectations, amongst opinions, in the noise and the overwhelm of daily society, I'm sorry, but you chose the easy way out. To me, spirituality is not about escaping the matrix, it's about reprogramming it from within. And yes, to be able to reprogram it, you need to detach yourself from it, and that's exactly what I'll be talking you through today in this video. Personally, I don't believe that spirituality is about becoming someone new. It's very much about remembering who you were before the world told you who you should be, which, by the way, it's my whole thing on social media. It's why I'm here talking to you today. It's because I want you to remember who you were before the world came in and conditioned you, programmed you, socialized you. Because the fact is, if you are feeling lost right now, and if you are feeling like something is missing, it's because you have been following a formula that simply does not work. I don't know about you, but I grew up believing that success came from working hard, from achieving my goals, and life's purpose came from finding a good, stable job, buying a house, getting an expensive European car, and having children. The problem was, when I got all those things, I was still feeling like something was missing. I found myself disillusioned, disappointed in life. I studied hard. I got into a good university. I finished my degree. And I did not, and the 9 to 5 didn't suit me. I felt miserable. I really didn't want to spend my life dealing with silly, messy internal politics. As I reached the age of having kids, I didn't want them. And I had this calling, I had this yearning for something more. And I was really struggling to reach it. And I was really struggling with my self-worth because I believed, or I grew up believing, that my worth equaled my success. And when this all unraveled for me, I was far from the definition of success that mainstream media and society want you to believe in. I had quit my stable 9 to 5. I was failing miserably at growing and sustaining my wellness and spirituality based business. I had no clients. I couldn't pay for myself. I couldn't support myself financially. So I was a failure in society's terms. And I was suffering. I was really in a dark place. My self-esteem, the confidence that I had in me, the trust that I had in me was at an all-time low, and I was just so disconnected. Nothing made sense. But at the same time, there was this yearning for something more, this yearning for connection, this yearning for, or perhaps this inner knowledge that I deserved more and that there was something more and different waiting for me. And this is what really prompted me into this journey that allowed me to dive deep into self-discovery, self-understanding, and find ways in which I could take back control of my life and start living it in a way that is aligned with my intuition and free from the programs and ideologies of society that does not make sense to me. and is not aligned with my values and with the way in which I want to live. So if this isn't about escaping life or about becoming something new, if this is about reprogramming the matrix, how can you reprogram the matrix, or how can you start to reprogram the matrix from within and detach yourself from the beliefs, the systems, and the programs that no longer make sense in your life? And before I share what I did or what I have been doing, because this is an ongoing work, I do want to say that this is ongoing work. I don't have all the answers, and I've not completely reprogrammed the matrix, obviously. I am just me, and this is what helps me live in a way that is a lot more true to myself, to my values, and to what I want to create in this life for me as a human being. So perhaps these will inspire you to break free as well, but please don't take this video as a formula, because the formula is very personal, and again, this is about you remembering who you are, so I couldn't possibly tell you. What I can do is share what I did to remember who I was before the world told me who I should be. Caveat said, the first thing I did, and the first thing I believe everyone should do if they are serious about taking back control of their lives and reprogramming the matrix, is to learn how to control your nervous system. You need to find a way to be calm in times of chaos. I did this through the practice of yoga, through the practice of meditation. This is something that I found back in 2014. This is when I started practicing yoga, and I discovered yoga for the first time. The practice of yoga clicked for me. It may not click for you. It doesn't really matter what you do. Just find a way to learn how to calm your busy mind. It can be through yoga, it can be through meditation. There are many styles of meditation. It can be through Pilates, somatic practice, even going to the gym. As long as you are able to start discerning your thoughts, stop believing all the thoughts that pop into your head, and start choosing the ones that you do want to pay attention to and the ones that you do want to follow through with. So after I was a lot more in control of my emotions, of my thoughts, I started becoming really curious about me and the reason why I behaved in the ways I behaved and why certain themes kept repeating in my life. So I sort of shifted my attention from yoga to astrology. I kept practicing yoga. I still practice yoga today. It's an incredibly important practice so that I can keep myself on track. But astrology really opened a new world to me. Reading my birth chart for the first time and learning more about what the archetypes and symbology of astrology is really gave me the language to be able to start expressing some of the things that I was feeling, some of the things that I was yearning for, some of the things that I was experiencing it. And by having language, I was able to slowly start shifting the narrative and move from a victim mentality, from someone who was very much a product of her life, into someone that was in charge and was consciously navigating through the blueprint of her life with intention, with meaning. I was able to understand why I struggled so hard with negative thinking, and by having awareness of that, I was a lot more discerning when it came to taking or paying attention to thoughts in my head. And I was able, and this is work that I'm still doing right now, gradually shifting those and alchemizing those into a lot more positive feelings, a lot more positive thinking. Then once you start understanding yourself better and why you work the way you work, and in a way, yoga and astrology are like instruction manuals for humans, but once you get a better understanding of why you're doing the things you're doing, it's important to recognize that we don't exist just in the physical plane and just in the physical body. We have an electromagnetic field, an energetic field around us that influences our lives and our well-being and our state of mind. And in this energetic field, sometimes we have energetic imprints that are no longer serving us. And sometimes a lot of the blockages that we experience are because of that field being clouded and full of heaviness. And because of that, we are not able to shift the frequency and connect with higher frequencies that allows us to live with more ease, with more purpose, with more love. And so it's important to make sure that energetically you're also clearing those blockages and those emotional imprints that were left from trauma that you face, from conflict that you've had, and if you are a believer, from past lives that you've had. And you can clear these blockages through energy healing, things like Reiki. I personally studied shamanic healing because I quite like the connection with earth and the elements. These energetic practices are really, really good, and they're especially important if you feel like you are doing a lot of work mentally, like you're doing everything right, you're going to therapy, things are working, you are having a few breakthroughs, but you are not being able to integrate stuff, not really. So if you feel like you're stuck over and over again on the same thing, despite the amount of mental work that you've already done, then looking at these modalities that are more subtle and that they work on your energetic field may be the light that you are seeking, or maybe the solution that you are looking for. Another thing that was super helpful when it came to me being able to find clarity about what I wanted to do truly, not what I should do and not what I think I should do, but what I wanted to do, was reconnecting with my inner child. And this is perhaps not necessarily a step up in terms of the process that I have been walking you through from nervous system regulation, which is 100% the first step and the first thing that you want to do, because without that, the other things won't really work for you. But reconnecting with your inner child comes as a little bit of a parallel thing. And it's incredibly important because the truth is, as a child, you liked to do certain things and you were drawn towards certain things. And then because you went to school or because you grew up in a certain kind of family with a certain set of beliefs, you may have lost track of what you really liked to do because you were shaped into liking certain things, of needing to do certain things, to please, to be helpful, to be safe, be loved. So it's important that you go back to your early childhood years and you start remembering and start thinking about the things that you used to do as a child. So for instance, when I was young, I was obsessed with Sailor Moon. This was a Japanese anime that played in the 90s, and it was about these heroes from space that fought against evil and won through the power of friendship and love. Now, obviously, I'm not implying that I should go back to being one of the Sailor Moon warriors, but this clearly implied that I had this huge interest in the stars and the planets and the symbology associated with astrology. So to me, being able to connect again with astrology and actually finally learn astrology formally was incredible. It brought me so much joy, and it certainly allowed me to reconnect with a part of myself that I had lost and repressed over the years, because growing up I was in a family that was very much logic oriented, so obviously things like astrology or anything occult or woo-woo was a big no-no. So think about your hobbies, the things that you like to do for the sake of doing them, the things that you have no expectations about, they're just fun. Do more of them and try to think how they can be connected with your purpose and what you are meant to do here, because I find that our purpose was all laid out for us as children because we intuitively liked doing those things. So this is I guess, an invite that I leave you with. And then last but not least, and this may be perhaps the most controversial one, the way in which you start reprogramming the matrix and you start really taking control and you start co-creating is by leaving logic behind and reconnecting with your intuition. This is something that I'm still grappling with because, as I told you, I grew up in a very logic, intellectual household. And so to me, breaking free from using my head as an overthinker is nearly impossible. So I'm still working through this. But our body has a lot of knowledge. Our intuition already has all the answers. So if you want to be able to make choices that are more aligned with your soul, with who you really are, with your essence, then it's the intuition that you need to connect with, not your thoughts. Because your thoughts are easy to change. They are easy to be reprogrammed. They are easy to be brainwashed. But it's your intuition that will give you the solid answers that you're looking for. So learn to move from your head and drop into your body when you need answers. Tap into how you feel physically. Where do you feel you need to make a decision? Where does it feel in the body? Does it feel like a churning, not a very positive one in your gut? Then maybe you should go ahead with it no matter what your head says and no matter how your head is trying to rationalize and intellectualize that. Does it feel expansive? Do you have butterflies in your stomach and it's exciting? So perhaps even if you are afraid of making that decision, that is probably the right one for you. It's the one that will take you to the next level. So tap into your body. Your body has a lot of knowledge. Your body is very wise. So tap into how you feel physically when you are making decisions. Obviously, still use your head. And especially if that still helps you feel safe. But try to ask more questions to your body and try to make space so that you can actually listen to your intuition, because your intuition will never scream at you. It's a whisper. And so to be able to hear those whispers, we need to go back to step number 1, which is all about regulating your nervous system and calming your busy mind. And when you calm your busy mind, you are essentially changing the wavelengths in your brain and making more space within for insights to come through. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching. If you like this kind of content, if you are on a journey to reclaim parts of yourself that you've lost and reconnect with your soul, with your essence, make sure you subscribe. This is really a topic that I'm super passionate with, and it's a journey that I'm currently on. So join me, walk alongside me. I also wanted to ask which of these steps resonated the most with you. Let me know if you agree. Obviously, this is my perspective, and I would love to have a healthy and constructive conversation in the comments. So let me know your thoughts and which part of or what kind of practice calls you more. I will see you very, very soon for another video. Bye.